Hi, I'm Royce. For 15 years, I thought I had the perfect life. Successful career, beautiful home in the suburbs, and a family I adored. My wife Vanessa and I had built everything together, or so I believed. Our daughter Emma had just turned 16 last month. The day everything changed started like any other Tuesday. Dad, can I talk to you? Emma stood in my home office doorway, nervously twisting her bracelet. I looked up from my laptop. Sure, kiddo, what's up? She glanced over her shoulder before closing the door and sitting across from me. Mom's leaving for her Chicago trip tomorrow, right? Yeah, 3 days. Some big client meeting. Why? Emma leaned forward, her voice dropping to barely above a whisper. When she goes, you need to look in the basement storage room. Behind the Christmas decorations, there's a black lockbox. What are you talking about? Why would I? Dad, please. Her eyes watered. Just trust me. I heard Mom talking to someone on the phone last night. She said once she gets back from Chicago, everything will be in place, and Royce won't know what hit him. I laughed awkwardly. Come on, Emma. That could mean anything. Maybe she's planning a surprise party. In April, with no birthdays coming up? She shook her head. And why would she say you won't know what hit you about a party? That's not how people talk about good surprises. You're probably just misunderstanding. Dad, Emma's voice cracked. I know what I heard. And it's not the first time. She's been having these weird conversations for months, and she's always clearing her browser history. My chest tightened. How do you know that? Because I needed to use her laptop for a school project when mine died. The autocomplete was empty, completely empty. Who does that unless they're hiding something? Before I could respond, we heard the front door open. Emma jumped up. Promise me you'll check tomorrow after she leaves. Vanessa's voice rang out from downstairs. I'm home. Where is everyone? Emma gave me one last pleading look before opening the door. We're here, Mom. Dad's helping me with algebra. That night at dinner, I watched my wife more carefully. Vanessa chatted animatedly about her upcoming trip, but something felt off in her enthusiasm. So there's absolutely no way to reschedule this meeting? I asked casually. Vanessa's fork paused halfway to her mouth. What? No, of course not. Why would I reschedule? It's the Donovan account, Royce. You know how important that is. I was just thinking we could do something as a family this weekend. Well, we can when I get back Sunday night. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Emma, did you finish that history paper? Later, as Vanessa packed, I noticed how meticulously she organized her phone chargers and laptop. Taking a lot of tech for a short trip, I commented from the bedroom doorway. What's that supposed to mean? She didn't look up. Nothing, just an observation. She zipped her suitcase with more force than necessary. I have presentations and calls. It's work, Royce, not a vacation. The next morning, I stood in the driveway waving as her car disappeared around the corner. Emma appeared beside me. Did you mean what you said yesterday? I asked. Every word. She handed me her phone, open to a text conversation. And there's this. The texts were between Emma and her friend Zoe. Zoe, did you tell your dad yet? Emma, no, I'm scared. What if I'm wrong? Zoe, you're not wrong. My mom saw your mom with that guy twice now, at the Lakeside Hotel. You have to tell him. I felt the ground shift beneath my feet. Who's that guy? Emma's voice was small. Mom's boss, Mr. Calloway. I stood frozen in our driveway, Emma's phone still clutched in my hand. My mind raced through every late meeting, every business trip over the past year. Dad? Emma touched my arm. What are we going to do? I handed her phone back. First, we check the lockbox. Then we'll figure out the rest. In the basement, we pushed aside dusty Christmas decorations. The black metal box was exactly where Emma said it would be. No key in sight. Great, I muttered. Now what? Emma bit her lip. Mom keeps a spare key in her jewelry box, the little blue one in the back corner. I stared at my daughter. How do you know all this? I've been paying attention for a while now. Her eyes dropped. I didn't want to believe it either. Upstairs in our bedroom, the tiny key was right where Emma said. My hands trembled as I returned to the basement and opened the lockbox. Inside were bank statements, a prepaid phone, and a manila folder containing lease agreement for an apartment in the city under Vanessa's maiden name. The most recent bank statement showed regular transfers to an account I'd never seen, large amounts, siphoned from our joint savings. She's been planning this for months, I whispered. The doorbell rang, startling us both. Emma ran upstairs while I quickly repacked the box. Dad, Emma called, it's Uncle Marcus. Marcus wasn't actually my brother, but we'd been best friends since college. He stood in our living room, concern etched across his face. "Hey, what's going on?" "Emma called and said it was urgent." I glanced at my daughter, who shrugged. "You need backup." For the next hour, I brought Marcus up to speed while Emma occasionally filled in details. Wow. Marcus ran a hand through his salt and pepper hair. "I knew something was off when she canceled on our couple's dinner last month, said you were sick, but I saw you at the gym that same day." "She told me you canceled," I said. Marcus shook his head. "Classic triangulation. So what's your plan?" "I need to know exactly what she's doing," I said, "and with whom." "My cousin Alicia works at the hotel mentioned in those texts," Emma said quietly. "She might know something." 20 minutes later, we were sitting in a coffee shop across from Alicia, a college student with bright blue hair who worked weekends at the Lakeside Hotel. "Mr. Calloway?" She nodded. "Oh yeah, he's a regular. Always the same suite, 403, usually Friday afternoons." "With my wife?" I asked, my voice strained. Alicia's eyes widened. "Oh God, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. Yeah, the same woman comes every time. Dark hair, always dressed super professional. They have a standing reservation." "Standing reservation," I repeated. "For how long?" "At least 6 months." Alicia hesitated. "There's something else. Last time they were in, I overheard them talking about property in Costa Rica." Marcus leaned forward. "Costa Rica has no extradition treaty with the U.S. and no connection to the Donovan account in Chicago," I added. "I need proof of all this." "I may know someone who can help," Marcus said, pulling out his phone. "My neighbor's a detective, recently divorced himself after his wife pulled something similar. Detective Miller agreed to meet us that afternoon. In his late 50s, with a perpetual 5 o'clock shadow, he listened without interruption as I explained everything. "Financial fraud within a marriage is sadly common," he said when I finished. "But the good news is it's also traceable. You'll need an attorney, but first, let's establish exactly what's happening." "I thought Chicago was legitimate," I admitted. "What if I'm jumping to conclusions?" Miller pulled out his phone. "Easy enough to verify. What hotel is she supposedly staying at?" "The Grand Plaza." He made a quick call. "Yes, reservation check for Vanessa Whitman, checking in today." After a moment, he hung up. "No reservation under that name." "So she's not even in Chicago," I said, the betrayal cutting deeper. "Not at that hotel, anyway." Miller tapped his fingers on the table. "Mr. Whitman, have you checked your home for any missing documents? Passports, birth certificates?" My blood ran cold. "You think she's planning to leave the country? Costa Rica property, secret bank accounts, fake business trips?" Miller shrugged. "I've seen this pattern before." Emma gasped. "Dad, the safe! In your closet!" I was already on my feet. The safe behind the painting in our bedroom closet stood open, emptied of our passports, birth certificates, and the emergency cash we'd stored there. Only my passport remained. "She has Emma's passport," I said, my voice hollow as Detective Miller examined the safe. "She's planning to take our daughter." Emma's face paled. "I don't want to go anywhere with her. Not after this." Marcus put a protective arm around Emma's shoulders. "Nobody's taking you anywhere, kiddo." Miller pulled out a small notebook. "The missing documents strengthen our case. Now we need to locate your wife. Her phone GPS might help." "She has a second phone," I remembered. "The prepaid one in the lockbox." "Smart," Miller nodded. "But she's likely using her regular phone too to maintain appearances." I pulled up our family tracking app, which we'd installed years ago for emergencies. "She's at the Lakeside Hotel right now, not Chicago." "Let's pay her a visit," Miller suggested. "But first, I need you to call her. Act normal, see what she says." With shaking hands, I dialed Vanessa's number, putting it on speaker. "Hey," she answered. Background noise suspiciously quiet for an airport or busy hotel. "What's up?" "Just checking in," I said, fighting to keep my voice steady. "How was your flight?" "Fine, just the usual delay at O'Hare." The lie rolled off her tongue effortlessly. "I'm heading into meetings soon, so I might be hard to reach." "No problem. The Donovan account, right? That's a big one." "Exactly. Listen, I should go." "One more thing," I interrupted. "Did you move my passport? I can't find it in the safe." A pause. "Why do you need your passport?" "Just doing some organizing. Spring cleaning." Another pause. "I haven't touched it. Check your desk, maybe? Anyway, I really need to go." "Sure, love you." The line went dead before she responded. Everyone in the room exchanged glances. "Well," Miller said, "she's definitely not in Chicago." 40 minutes later, we pulled into the Lakeside Hotel parking lot. Miller had called ahead to the management, explaining the situation. A security officer met us at a side entrance. Room 403, he confirmed. Registered to Andrew Calloway since noon, 2 occupants. We took the elevator in silence. At the door, Miller gestured for me to stand to the side while he knocked. "Room service," he called. "We didn't order anything," came a male voice. Miller knocked again. "Complimentary, sir, for valued guests." The door opened a crack, revealing a middle-aged man in a partially unbuttoned shirt. His eyes widened at Miller's badge. "Mr. Calloway?" Miller asked. "We need to speak with you and Mrs. Whitman." "There's some mistake." I stepped into view. "No mistake, Andrew." The door swung open fully, revealing Vanessa frozen in the middle of the suite, dressed in casual clothes, not business attire. Travel documents and what appeared to be plane tickets lay scattered across the bed. "Royce," she breathed. "What are you doing here? How did you find out you weren't in Chicago?" I stepped into the room. "Or discover the apartment lease, or the money you've been stealing, or the fact that you took our daughter's passport." Calloway moved toward his jacket draped over a chair. Miller blocked his path. "Sir, I wouldn't," he warned. Vanessa's shock transformed into calculation before my eyes. "Royce, this isn't what it looks like. Andrew and I are working on a special project. In a hotel room? With our passports and plane tickets to Costa Rica?" I picked up a ticket from the bed. "One for you, one for Andrew, and one for Emma. Were you planning to kidnap our daughter?" "Of course not!" Vanessa's voice rose. "I was going to tell you everything when the time was right. We're being offered an amazing opportunity." "Stop lying!" My voice echoed through the room. "Emma overheard your calls. She knows what you've been planning." "You involved our daughter in this?" Vanessa's eyes narrowed. "How dare you?" "I involved her? You were planning to take her out of the country." Calloway cleared his throat. "Perhaps we should all calm down." "Shut up," Vanessa and I said simultaneously. She took a step toward me. "Royce, please, just listen. Things haven't been good between us for years. You know that. This is better for everyone." "Better?" I laughed bitterly. "Stealing our savings is better? Lying about business trips is better? Planning to take my daughter without my knowledge is better? You're always working. You never notice anything. If you paid attention to your family instead of your precious career, maybe I wouldn't have had to— To what? Commit fraud? Plan a kidnapping?" Miller stepped between us. "Mrs. Whitman, I recommend you stop talking now. Mr. Calloway, please gather your identification. You're both coming to the station to answer some questions." "You can't be serious," Vanessa scoffed. "Royce, call off your rent-a-cop. We're still family. We can work this out." I looked at the woman I'd spent 15 years with, suddenly a stranger. "No, Vanessa, we can't." Her expression hardened. "You'll regret this. I still have access to all our accounts. By tomorrow, there won't be a penny left." "That's enough." Miller stepped forward, but Vanessa was faster. She grabbed a heavy lamp and swung it at me. I dodged, but Calloway took advantage of the distraction to lunge for his jacket, pulling out what looked like a passport. Miller reacted immediately, restraining Calloway while the hotel security guard moved toward Vanessa, who was reaching for her phone. "Touch that phone and you're adding evidence tampering to the charges," Miller warned. "Charges?" she laughed. "For what? Having an affair? Planning a vacation? That's not illegal." "Assault, financial fraud, conspiracy to commit parental kidnapping," Miller listed. "For starters?" "Accounts frozen," Miller informed me days later. "Your wife faces multiple charges." "Divorce proceedings start today," Marcus added. "FBI agent Kramer joined our case. Calloway's company was already under investigation. Your wife's involvement makes this serious." That evening, my phone buzzed. "It's Vanessa. I need help, for Emma's sake." I replied, "All communication through my attorney." Her texts flooded in. "One mistake. I'm sorry. They're saying 5, 7 years. I still love you. We can fix this." I blocked her number. 2 weeks later, Vanessa faced me in prison. "They're offering a deal if I cooperate. I need access to our safe deposit box." Another box I didn't know about? "Royce, I messed up, but I never stopped loving you both. You were taking Emma to another country. I was going to call you. No more lies. She needs her mother. Emma exposed your plan. She protected our family when you tried destroying it. She's a child. She doesn't understand. She understands loyalty better than you ever will." 6 months later, Emma and I stood on our new apartment balcony. "Are you okay, Dad? Getting there? You? Same. Will we hear from Mom again? Probably. But we'll handle it together." "Together," she agreed. "Have you ever rebuilt after betrayal? Share below."